Howdy guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about something that I don't feel like gets talked about enough. And they're so important to makeup, and that is makeup brushes. Yes, we're talking about makeup brushes today. I'm going to be sharing with you my most favorite of my favorites. Tried and true, they're written into my will, they're in our family Christmas card. That's how much these brushes over here mean to me. Now, this isn't all of my brush collection, and I do love other brushes, but these ones are hands down my soulmates, my ride or die. These brushes I will use over and over and over again. I don't care. If they stop producing them, I'd have to quit makeup. It's serious. So I'm gonna break it down for you today, and if you would like to see my favoritist of the favorites, if we were back in MySpace days, they would be on my top 8, then keep on watching. Okay, to start us off, I am going to treat you to these guys. These are beauty sponges. These are my absolute favorite, and they are so important with applying makeup and foundation. Now, I use this Real Techniques one because I love this flat side. I used it to actually put my foundation on with today, and this one went through a little accident, but it usually has a really pointy side that I love to get right underneath the eye, around the eyebrow, into my nostril. It's just a great sponge. This is the Flower Beauty sponge. Now, the shape, not the greatest, but the consistency of this sponge is something that dreams are made of. This is like a marshmallow. This is heavenly. I love the way that this feels, and its squishiness I thought wasn't going to apply product very well, but it actually applies product beautifully. It's so soft. I don't know what it is about this sponge. It's just so good, and both of these sponges you can find at the drugstore, and they are very affordable. Now, sometimes you don't always want to apply foundation with a sponge. Sponges tend to soak up a lot of product, so you end up having to use more product because the sponges are soaking up so much of it. So a lot of times people like to use brushes. Now, brushes you have to be careful with because they can look very, very streaky. Now, rule of thumb to know in makeup is that if it's synthetic, it's made for a cream liquid product, and if it is natural hair, it is made for a powder product. Of course, there are no rules in makeup. You can use whatever brushes you want for anything. Generally, if you want a smooth application, that's something you should think about. So I like to use the M439 brush to put foundation on. Now, I have another one of these too that I use in my kit when I do makeup on other people as well. I just love this brush. It's very nice to stipple in foundation, buff in foundation, but it's also fluffy enough to where you can dab powder on your face as well. If you're somebody that, maybe you don't like a lot of clutter, or maybe you just you only have the money for one brush, get this brush. People love this brush for a reason. Now, this one's a newer one, and it actually is a lot nicer than my older one. The older one, this thing popped out, and it did shed. Morphe has improved their brush game since I bought the old one, because this one is very, very nice, even though I still use both of them. Another thing to remember with using brushes for foundation is that you want them very, very densely packed, and you want them very, very soft. So this is a great one. This is an eye beauty brush. This is a dupe for an Artiste brush, and they are hella expensive. They are definitely, not something to sneeze at. But I love this one because it's so friggin' soft. It's kind of dome-shaped, and it is kind of small, but it's great for my face. I have a small face, so it's really great for getting around tight corners, but it's really great for buffing in all over. I found this at TJ Maxx, and now that I bought this one, they have tons of sets of collections with small ones, little ones, skinny ones for your nose, large ones. So if you want, check out TJ Maxx, or I also saw on Amazon they have some of these, and I know Real Techniques has one of their own as well. It's so easy to use. If you're someone that doesn't have a lot of time to spend on blending and blending and blending, I'm a makeup person, so I'm obsessive about how my makeup looks. But if you're someone that just needs a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 done, this is the brush for you. I highly recommend it. Very affordable. Now, the next brush I have is such a multi-purpose brush. I love it. This is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Now, it's kind of like the M443, but it's very small, and I like that about it because if you're someone that likes to precisely blend makeup for hours and hours and hours, you can use this. I also use this for powder. You can set powder. I like it for under my eyes. This Real Techniques brush I used when I first got it, like non-stop. Like every product I had on, I put this on, it was a bomb. Now another brush that is newer to my collection that I love is this Morphe E8. I actually mentioned this in my last video that was my winter favorites. I was recommended this by Lipstick Nick at the Lipstick Nick beauty tour. This is what she used to do Jacqueline's makeup. Now when she did her makeup, she was using a cream foundation, and this brush is really nice for cream foundations. Brushes in general are just better for cream foundations than sponges are. I noticed that I can still see like where I marked my face with a cream foundation when I use a sponge instead of using this. So it's just very easy to blend out foundation again. It's a good nose contour. You can use it to set powder. I use it a lot to blend out concealer, or days when I'm just wearing concealer, I will just like barely press this into my concealer and I will dot it all over and be done. It's very, very nice brush. I love this. Now the only brush that I use to put powder on is my oldest brush. This is the It Cosmetics number 126, and it is the Airbrush Blurring Powder Brush. I love this because it is the biggest, fluffiest duo fiber brush ever. I love it because you can stipple powder into your face, and you can also just dust powder lightly on your face, and you can use it to sweep away powder on the face and it's not going to disturb the foundation. I love this brush. It Cosmetics brushes are so well made. I think they are 150% worth the money. I love this one. I also like to use this because it does say blurring. If I do put on bronzer or blush that's a little too intense, a little too harsh, and I'm like, whoa, I look like a doll, I will just take this and I will just kind of go over my cheeks and over my highlight and stuff and just kind of blur it out a little, make it look a little bit more natural. Moving right into contour, I only use one contour brush, and that is the Y3. If you guys watch my videos, you know that I love this brush, and here's why. I love it because I'm not somebody that wants a super harsh contour. I don't want to go in with tons and tons of powder. I love this because it is tapered to a point. I can go right here on my face and make a very soft contour, so it's kind of carved out, but it's not really intense, and it's not something that I have to go and like stamp underneath here to help carve it out or anything like that. It just makes this nice softest contour. The tapered part is also great for going around the perimeter of my face, on my forehead and around my chin and on the sides of my nose. I don't have a big forehead. I don't have a big face in general. I don't need a big giant brush to bring bronzer all over my face. This is perfect, and it's also fluffy enough to where if I want to just wear bronzer for the day, I can just take some bronzer and just pat it on the tops of my cheeks, kind of blend it out. So I really love this brush, and I highly recommend it. You know, if you're someone that wants a little bit of something but not a lot, this is the brush, and you can use this to set under eye powder. You can use this for blush. You can use it for whatever, and I mean, this gold packaging, come on, it's everything. Two brushes for blush. I know, I'm weird, but this was one that I used for forever. This is the Real Techniques blush brush, and I love it because it's pink, just like blush. And this is just perfect. It's a duo fiber, very domey, soft brush, and it's just perfect. I just take this, dupe in the blush, then I dupe right on the apples of my cheeks. It's perfect, fits right there. It's absolutely amazing. It's never done me wrong. I love this for blush. But I also have another brush that I love too. This was a Lipstick Nick recommendation, and boy does she know her stuff. This is the Morphe 310. I love this. I got a really nasty little fan brush from Morphe a long time ago, and I think because it was synthetic and it was a duo fiber, it just didn't pick up any product. Like, I didn't even know how the brush made product look because it didn't pick up any, and it was really disappointing. And that's one of the harder things about Morphe, is that unless you live in California, you can't really go to the store and try things out or touch them or feel them. You kind of have to order blindly sometimes. This applies blush like I don't have words for how this applies blush. It's so beautiful. You just pick up a little bit of blush and you just barely like bring it down, like you swirly 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 swirly. It's so good. You can also use this on the sides of the nose for like contour. You can also use it for highlighter. This is an amazing fan brush. I used to be like totally against fan brushes until I got this one, and it has changed the game. And this brush is another infamous one you guys have seen on my channel. This is my Morphe M510. This is the only brush that I use for highlighter. It's amazing. It's a big natural haired blending brush. It's perfect for just getting right here, right on my cheekbone. It's perfect for my Cupid's bow. It's perfect for my nose, the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose. It's perfect for the tops of my eyebrows and my chin. It's just a great blending brush. And I know this is kind of contradicting myself, but this is actually one of those natural hair brushes that picks up cream product really nicely and disperses it really nicely. I have a couple of highlighters that are kind of like a putty kind of cream texture, and I can still swirl this brush in there and have it apply beautifully. This is an awesome, affordable, amazing brush. Now, if you guys watch my favorites videos, which you totally should, I mean, hello, what are you doing? I love my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. It is a beautiful concealer, hands down. But it is a cream concealer, so I do need a brush to pick it up. I mean, I can pick it up with my finger, but like, it's just so unsanitary, and I just don't want to do it that way. Okay, that's as simple as that. I want to use a brush for that. So I like to use the MAC 195 brush. This is a very flat synthetic brush that tapers to a point, as you guys can see, and this is just perfect for right underneath the eyes. I just pick up a little bit of it and I'll just wipe it under here. I also like to do it underneath my brows. This is such a pretty brush. It's very soft, and MAC, again, is another one that their brushes are a little bit expensive, but they are worth it. Now this brush that I'm gonna show you guys is like, I can't live without this brush. Like, if I didn't have this brush, like, I wouldn't go out of the house for the day. This is my Anastasia number 12 brow pencil. Nobody, and I mean nobody, makes a brush for brows as good as this one. I mean, she's the queen of brows, so she should, but this brush is so awesome. It's so fine and little. It's perfect to make hair-like strokes in the front. It's perfect to fill, and it makes a super harsh cut line. It's perfect. And of course, it has a bang and spoolie at the end for you to brush through your brows as well. Yeah, this with my pomade is everything. It's everything. Moving into eye brushes, if you guys watch my channel, again, this should be no surprise to anybody. The M441, this is probably like my favorite brush in my collection. I love this brush. It's so good. It's a domey, fluffy blending brush. It's perfect for your transition shade. It's perfect for blending out the edges, make them look really beautiful and seamless. I mean, if you needed to, you could use this as a brow bone highlight, a face highlight, a nose highlight. This is a blending brush that you need to have. If you want to take your eyeshadow game from a 1 to a 100, this is the brush that you need for your eyeshadow. It's equally as good of a blending brush. This is the Morphe M433. This one is wide on one side, but then when you turn it to the side, it does go a little bit more flat. This is a great brush for adding depth to the eye and playing around with more than one color and not having the colors muddy up. So this is perfect just to get right there in your socket, really low, and just blend this out. You can also use this as a lower lash line brush. It's so great, you guys. I really like this because it's really taken me to a whole nother level as far as doing makeup. You know, I don't just blend the same like 3 transition colors together and then pack some on the lid. I can really use this to create more depth and dimension and play around with a couple more colors. So this is good. A little blending brush that I love is the Morphe E17. This is so great. Again, this is great for more detailed work, like on the outer corner. If you're doing a halo eye and you need to get in that inner corner, this is great. Again, brow bone highlight, inner corner highlight. I use this a lot to smoke out the lower lash line. Like, I'll put my colors down there and then I'll just smoke this bad boy out. This is a great brush to have in your collection. Now to some other eye brushes. And you guys know I'm bougie and extra and crazy, but I have a brush just for inner corner highlight. Yes, that is true, what I just said. I have just one brush for inner corner highlight. This is the Morphe E24. This is a very weird looking brush. It is a little bullet brush. As you can see, it does kind of move, but for the most part it is very sturdy. And this, for the inner corner, girls and boys, It's just perfect just to get right in there and put some. You can drag it down if you need to, or drag it up. I've also used this for the brow bone highlight as well. This is just the best. And for the longest time, I never knew what to do with this. Like, I really didn't. Like, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, I just kind of wasted my money on that brush. And then one day I was like, I need something. I have no clean brushes. And I was just like, dupe. And then I was like, we're in business. Now this is a brush that's newer to my collection, and it definitely has made a difference. This is the Morphe M432. This is a very tight synthetic flat brush. This is awesome. I can really get a dark color right up against my lashes and then smoke it out with the other brush. And it just looks so beautiful. You can also use this for liner, you can use it for brows, you could even use it as a lip brush or a packing brush if you needed to. So it's definitely multi-purpose if you needed it for a pinch. But this is just so soft and fluffy, and it's just great for really tight lining eyeliner under there. It's good. It's very, very good. Now, I've gotten emotional pretty much about every single brush on here, but this brush, you guys, is amazing. This is the MAC 242. Again, this is one that you see a lot on the internet that people use. It's just a flat synthetic brush, and it's so great. First of all, you can use this as a lip brush if you need to. I've even used this as a lower lash line brush. I've even put inner corner and brow bone highlight, but I use this for packing on glitters and pigments and shimmer shadows. This is just everything. Like, you just shimmy your little brush in the pigment, and then you just press this bad boy all over. Perfect. Amazing. Again, if you really want to take your makeup game to the next level and you really want to have those pop-in eyeshadows, or you really want to be able to make that cut crease, this is what you need. Another liner brush that is just so cute is this Real Techniques one. It's just the tiniest, thinnest liner brush. This is great if you're someone that loves gel liner. I just doop, 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 doop. It's so pointy and sharp and inexpensive and little and cute and purple, and hey, you need it. While I do use lip brushes on clients, I don't really use lip brushes on myself. The only brush that I use is actually from the Real Techniques little eye brush set that I just showed you. It's another little purple brush. It's the smudge brush. I use this to blend out lip liner. So when I put lip liner on, it's a little too thick, it's a little too harsh, I will just take this and I will just drag it down, or I'll just run it against the lip and just blend it out. It's a great little brush. I really only like these two from the eye set that they came out with because they're just kind of small, and I don't know, I just didn't like any ones but these. But yeah, this is great. Great for lip liner. Well, guys, we have come to the end of our time. I know, don't cry, don't cry. I'll make another video. I hope you guys found this informative and helpful, especially if you're somebody that doesn't really know what to get or you're overwhelmed. This, I hope, will help you a little bit. And I do have other brushes that I use in my collection that I like, and I do have other brushes that I use on clients and things like that. So if you guys would want to see more brushes or see my entire collection, just let me know. But these are like the cream of the crop, like amazing brushes that you should add to your collection. I love them. I use them all the time. Have used them for months and months and months, and they're great. What can I say? As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best ever. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.